change is the undercurrent, and the frequency of consistency is the frequency that we are in and always of. We are in the space of constant change, and that consists of a state of frequency that is stable and consistent. And our beautiful human minds don't like change. So we're in a paradox. We're in a state of rebirthing ourselves from our ego identity being in the driver's seat of our lives to our souls being in the driver's seat of our lives. And the change, the underpinning of what we're moving through at this time is rattling the self that is afraid of change. And here we are. Thank you for joining me for this frequency intel and the monumental shifts that we're in the process of walking with. And as the creators that we are in the driver's seat all the time. It just is a matter of shifting our focus from the very narrow bandwidth of information that the human self, that the part of us that is our identity has access to allowing that shift to take place and to broaden out into an expanded view. And that creates a necessary stability that has previously been unavailable to us. So the vision that I was shown when I tapped into the collective consciousness was very simple and it was very beautiful. And so I want to share what I was shown with all of you so that we have a way to reference who we are in the changes that are taking place. And so what I was shown was the constant of change and where we are as a collective consciousness in this great awakening that we're in. We literally have moved through a lot of transformation in the past 4 to 10 years, depending on your process and your practice and your awakening and, what you've been going through individually. And the gift that I was shown was this understanding that when you're in the midst of change, when you're in the change itself, there's no contrast for us to reference where we are. So we have hindsight. And once we've moved through a great change, we can see the contrast of where we are after the change has taken place. And we can see where we've come from through you can think of it as a birth canal. We're moving through this birth canal and we've moved through most of the gestation period now is what I'm being shown and told at this time, and we don't have the ability to understand how much change we've already come through. But the message was very clear that the beings of light who really love us in ways that is unfathomable want us to understand how much change we've already been through and to really celebrate us. We are being so celebrated at this time for our courage, for our tenacity, and for our willingness to be the way showers and the ones who are really devoted and dedicated to focusing on the change that we are creating on this planet. And the mystery of the birthing process is where we are now, because we're not quite through the entire process of change, but we're at a critical juncture where we can begin to tap into this beautiful energy of the idea, to allow new ideas to come in, to take up root, and to begin to germinate. So you can think of this time that we're in and the frequency that we're working with of consistency as the seed before the seed. So if we think of seeds and the planting of seeds, and the guides are always using the beautiful analogy of a seed because we have a reference for it through nature, through our experience of planting a seed and watching it grow, and seeing the cycles of nature come and go, seeing the leaves fall from the tree and then go into dormancy, and the beauty of winter, of the skeleton being exposed, of the bare bones of us being exposed. And then the winter gives way to spring, and spring brings that germination period, and new things start to kind of burst through the skin, burst through the surface, burst through. This is the ideation process. And then the growth happens, the beautiful growth period where that beautiful spring green color starts to adorn the bare branches of the tree, and beauty starts to erupt in all ways. And then the cycle comes, where the fruits, the flowers bloom, and there's ripeness, and there's juiciness, and there's fruition. And then the cycle begins to wane, and the leaves begin to fall, the flowers shrivel, and the fruit gets picked and eaten. And so the seed before the seed is the image that they want us to be working with, because before anything is created, before even the seed is created, there is this constant, there is this all-knowing energy of ideation, or the idea being delivered. You can think of it this way: a building exists, and we can admire the architecture of the building, we can live inside the building, we can benefit from its shelter, we can grow and change within a structure like a building. But before that building was created, it was an idea. It didn't exist. And there wasn't anything to be built. The idea had to come through and land in someone or many to have a place to be germinated, and then to come into fruition, to be architected and then built and then inhabited. So that is the analogy that they're giving us. We're in that germination state, and how we can move through this space is we can become the open vessel for the idea, for the seed before the seed to come in and take up root. And that requires an amount of self-compassion that we're not really used to giving ourselves. So that's the invitation that's coming through in how to work with this time, these eclipses that we're in. Eclipses is something being eclipsed and then moving off. So this is that space of being the vessel for the seed before the seed to come in. This is the way that the guides are talking about this time, this period. And we have to remember that we're going through a monumental change, and literally the physiology of our brains are hardwired to not want change. So we're in this place where we need to really be in a balancing mechanism. We need to find an equilibrium for how to be in the uncertainty and still allow for the falling in of the new seed that hasn't been experienced, that hasn't been expressed, that hasn't been created here on earth. So we can think of this seed before the seed as a new way of creating that has not been experienced by human beings. And so how do we create when we haven't experienced anything? Because our beautiful minds don't have a reference point. They don't have images to draw on for what's possible. So this is the space that's requiring that we come into equilibrium and use self-compassion to know that the changes that are happening are being directed by the benevolence of our intentions, by the wholesomeness of our intentions to experience a way of being in relationship with ourselves, with our beloveds, with our co-creators, with our companions, with the earth, with the star beings. You know, we hear a lot of talk about there's going to be ET disclosure, and the ETs that are on the planet are going to start to make contact with more and more and more people. And we're seeing this all over the place. It's becoming part of the zeitgeist of our culture and on the planet. And so preparing for the changes is really a facet of our ability to be present, be in that state of self-compassion, and to allow for the changes to take place without giving much meaning to them from our old ego identity, and allowing the soul to really be in the driver's seat now and to be in observation of what's happening and understand that at any moment we can make a different choice. If something in our world, in our reality, in the out mirroring of our internal reality is something that we don't want to be experiencing, we literally have the power to change that through our intentions, our beliefs, and what we choose to focus on, and the frequency with which we bring to what is arising. So if something in our reality is happening that we really don't want to be experiencing, rather than bringing discord and anger or resentment or disbelief or victimhood mentalities, suffering, any of those frequencies to the experience, to actually bring love to the experience and to say, in this moment, I choose to love this creation that I have created, and then I choose to allow it to dissolve from my experience, and I choose to create something new. What else is there? If this isn't what I want to be experiencing moving forward, what else is possible? And to move into that state of change and to allow the new seed to drop into the awareness, the new idea, the new creation, the new inspiration to drop into our awareness, and then allow it to take space and to be birthed in the way that it knows to be birthed through us. And so I just want to remind us all that the balancing mechanism that we can use is our breath. Bringing balance to our state with the breath in each and every moment can bring balance back into our lived experience, back into our physical bodies, back into our minds, where we're really learning how to master our minds and become the creators of our reality. And this is my passion. This is the transformation, the way that I have transformed my life and supported many others to transform their lives, is to really just know that everything that you need, everything that you are, everything that you have, it already exists inside of you. And it's really now dropping into that space where we're in this change and we can't really see from the perspective of being inside the change, but what we can bring to the changes that are taking place is a level of trust and a level of faith and a level of surrender or relaxation, bringing in this equilibrium to allow the change to occur, knowing that we can create any change that we want at any time. So that takes us out of the realm of feeling like change is happening and we're not really able to navigate the change, and releasing that belief that there's something that is controlling us that may or may not have our best interest at heart. So when we release that and let it go and just allow for the change to take place and observe the changes and then make choices based on our lived experience and what we know and what we're allowing to arrive into our new awareness, then we'll make it through this massive change that we are in, and the seeds that we planted before, our intention to have loving, harmonious, generative, nourishing experiences here on earth, it's already happened. It's already happened. And when we align our frequency to that reality, then that reality appears into our lived experience. It becomes our physical reality. And so the beautiful guides, the beings, are encouraging us to be really soft and gentle through the changes that are taking place, and to recognize that at any given moment, we are all safe, we are divinely guided, provided for, and protected. And the changes that are happening, the really monumental changes that are happening, people leaving the planet, all kinds of really dense energies being transmuted through us. This has been going on for the last week or so, really dense emotional energies moving through us that we may not even be aware of where they came from or what they are. The very best way that we can work with these energies is simply to allow them to move through us and to use the energetic tools that we have in our toolkit to clear our energy fields on a daily basis. This is highly recommended to allow our energy fields to become more and more sovereign, more and more pristine, and to really utilize the tools that we have learned, that we've been taught, that we remembered from our own knowing, to really be in the forefront of our actions and to allow for the experience that we're moving through to be accepted and allowed. So when we allow, when we relax, when we move into that state of open expansion and we relax out of the contraction that we can often be in when change is happening, then whatever is needing to be transmuted through us can be transmuted through us very easily and without a lot of fanfare or chaos. And the beautiful frequency of chaos is the generation of new life. And so when we accept that what is, then we're moving and we're choosing to move into ease with everything that we're experiencing. And so I just want to drop in for a minute and see if there's any other messages that the guides want to share with us. And so I'm just going to close my eyes, and if this is a time when you can also close your eyes and just listen internally, that's the guidance that's coming through right now. The collective of Ra are the the beings that are currently really present for me and working through me to deliver messages of encouragement and softness and gentleness and compassion. They are in awe of what we're doing here. I think they started this message that way with us today. And so I'm just going to close my eyes. And if you want to close or lower your eyes and begin to open your channeling chakra above your head, the Wheelakocha, the 8th chakra, and just give permission to your beautiful entourage of light, your monad, your higher self, to deliver a message to you that is relevant and necessary and needed for you to move through the energies of change that we're in. We'll just sit together for 1 minute in silence and allow the beings of light to deliver messages to us. And I'll just share the message that's dropping in for us. And this is, beloveds, there is no better time to be on the earth plane than in this now moment. And the power with which you are creating change is admired and encouraged among the stars, among the planetary beings, among all of the forces and focus that are here supporting the evolution of the human consciousness on the planet at this time. We love you and encourage you to understand the power that you are. The power that you are to be on the planet at this time and to withstand the tremendous forces of change that are channeling through each and every one of you listening to this message are messengers of change. You signed up for this mission, and your mission is being flawlessly delivered and expressed through you. And we want to encourage you to remember to be in awe of yourselves at this time. To be in awe of yourselves at this time will support you in the changes that are taking place as you transition from your personal identity to your soul's identity, and delivering these messages to the people in your lives, the supporters, the followers, as you call them, all of the beings that you're working with and the lives that you touch that you're not even aware that you touch at this time. You are touching so many lives simply with your auric field and paying attention to the frequency with which you choose to emit through your voice, through your eyes, through your heart chakra, through the channels in your being, all of the beings of light, and all of the ways that you are here supporting the changes and anchoring them into the planet through your very vessel, your human energy field, through your physicality and through your body. And as you have these exchanges of energies, of the density that is being transmuted through your physical bodies, we understand that there is discomfort in these changes, and that your emotional body can get involved and your mind can get involved and start to make meaning of the changes that are happening. But we want to encourage you to no longer pay any attention to the irrelevance of those frequencies, and to simply understand that you are in a transmutation state of frequency from a denser frequency being held in the cellular structure of your bodies to allow and make way for light to be anchored into the earth plane, as you are a pillar of light, and the location that you're in at this time is very relevant and perfect for you. You are anchoring in light and transmuting energies off of the planet that are of a denser nature, that are coated with mind viruses and control paradigms of lack and limitation, of doubt. And we want to encourage you to understand that you are transmuting these energies off of the planet through your lived experience at this time. This is what is happening if you are experiencing physical symptoms, if you are experiencing disruptions in your sleep patterns, in your relational patterns, in the way that you transmute and transform and put your world together. We encourage you to understand that what is happening is this is part of the birthing process. And because you do not have any contrast to understand where you are in the birthing process, you are in the middle of the change that is taking place on the planet. And we want to encourage you to understand and remember how much change you've already been through, and to celebrate and applaud yourselves, and to understand the strength that it has taken to become anchored into this time space where you are right now, as you are transmuting the denser frequencies out of the cellular structure, the subatomic levels of your holographic field. This is the change taking place where you are moving into the end changes as they are occurring now. And as there is no time and there is no space, these changes are being accelerated on the planet to support all of you who are the way showers doing the transmuting of the denser collective energies, to support those who have not yet awakened and stepped onto their path. And so we are so in admiration of you. And this one that we are channeling through feels the emotional content of the admiration that we feel for you. We want you to know that you are dearly loved, that you are supported, and that we are with you and by your side at all times. And to remember that all you need do is to call on us and say, help, I've slipped back into a denser frequency and I need help moving back up into the realms of light and the realms of cause that I am, and the reason for my being here on the planet at this time. So to remember, beloveds, that we love you and that we are here to support you, and we encourage you to reach out and connect with us on a daily basis. This one that we are channeling through is not the only one that we wish to connect with. And if you are hearing this message, if you are receiving this frequency of light, this transmission of light, we are also in admiration and desiring of connecting with and conversing with and supporting you at this time. And so we will leave you now, and we say thank you, thank you, thank you. And as we are bowing to the magnitude of what you signed up for and your tenacity and courage to keep going and to realize the masters that you are, we love you infinitely, timelessly, ceaselessly. And we will look forward to connecting with you again when this one sits down to transmute the collective frequencies and deliver the frequency intel to you. You are loved. That was an incredibly beautiful message. Thank you all for being here. That was the first time that I felt the courage to allow them to come through in real time. Yeah, big deal for me. I feel really honored to be able to get out of the way finally and allow the channel to come through in real time. So thank you. Thank you for being here and witnessing and sharing your frequency and your light. Oh, gosh. So the emotions are so big. Hard to contain them without letting some of them spill out through my tears. the frequency is so high when I channel. That's why I've been reticent to channel live and really just delivering the channeled messages that I received earlier. But they encouraged me today to allow them to come through so that I can get used to just channeling them direct. It's so much easier when I just get out of the way and allow the beautiful frequency of Ra to come through and channel through me and deliver messages that I can't deliver myself. All right. Thank you so much for joining me and staying for the end of this frequency intel. And I encourage you to like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel so that I can begin to channel more messages and grow the channel and deliver these messages to the other star beings who are here on the planet and doing this amazing work that we're doing. So I love you all. Thank you. And I'll look forward to seeing you next week on the Frequency Intel.